Another day, another stroke of the pen by Joe Biden working overtime in his last 10 remaining days to change people's lives and take them away from the clutches of Donald Trump. This time, over 1 million people from Venezuela, El Salvador, the Sudan, and Ukraine are going to get an extended temporary protected status for their immigration, meaning they can remain in the United States, they can continue renewing their work permits, and the rest, and make Donald Trump take that away from them. But at least Joe Biden has bought them an additional 3 to 6 months in the United States. That's the best he can do. I'm on Legal AF, and I'm reporting on the extension of the TPS program. Think about all the things, before I get to that Joe Biden has done in the last 30 days, 20 days, 10 days, 3 days. Sometimes it's more than most presidents are able to accomplish in 4 years. Stroke with a pen last week, 330 million acres of our Arctic refuge and other wildlife areas protected from drill baby drill policies of Donald Trump, meaning no oil and gas leasing in any of those places. And that can't be easily reversed, if at all, by Donald Trump coming in with a new executive order, because that's not how that law works. 1,400 people get clemency and commuting of their sentences, with more to come and more pardons to come. Right? You got those 3 big pieces. You've got debt relief going to first responders, student loan debt relief going to first responders. You've got the Hamas kidnapping saga coming to an end with Anthony Blinken as the Secretary of State, hopefully in the next 48 hours. And now you've got 1 million people who were, I'm sure, crapping in their pants, understandably, shaking in their boots about a deportation program run by Tom Homan, the new border czar for Donald Trump, whenever he gets in, using the military to put people in black vans and separate children born here from their families and all of that. Well, at least 1 million Ukrainians, Venezuelans, people from the Sudan region, and the rest don't have to worry about that, at least I predict about 6 more months. Could be longer, could go into 2026, but let me explain it to you. Temporary protected status is a status, it's almost called the parole, that allows people that come from war-torn regions, places where there's political unrest and violence, or natural disasters like earthquakes and hurricanes, to seek residency here in the States, or seek, it's not asylum, but seek protective status here in the United States, and apply for their various ways for you to come into this country by seeking certain types of status depending upon where you're coming from. You know, you might be a political activist or somebody that is subject to violence in your country. There's certain amnesty programs that are allowed in. There's lawyers working round the clock to try to get these people this status. But the benefit is, if you have temporary protected status, which is what J.D. Vance, is he still the vice president-elect? I haven't seen him in the last month and a half. And Donald Trump, they want to remove temporary protected status and send all these people out of the country, regardless of their personal situation or where they came from. I mean, Donald Trump, in his first go-around, in the first month of his first term, ended TPS for 400,000 people. So you understand why these people are upset and worried. And so what has Biden done, and how does it block, at least temporarily, what Trump's trying to do? First of all, the more levers that Donald Trump has to pull on the first days, I mean, how many things can he accomplish in the first days? He's on the first day, in the first hour, I'm gonna solve the world crisis. I'm gonna deport everybody. I'm gonna change the economy. I'm gonna allow for drilling. I mean, how much can you do in the first day? Especially Donald Trump, who's not of disciplined mind or executive function, if you know what I mean. So the more you pile up on his table, right? You just pile with the outgoing Biden administration, the less he's going to be able to accomplish. I mean, that's the working theory. You know, he's got inexperienced administrators coming in. None of them have been in government before. My old boss is going to be the commerce secretary. You know, he doesn't know how to do that. Let's be frank. Linda McMahon is going to be the Department of Education. What does she know about education? How skimpy the bikinis are supposed to be for the World Wrestling Federation that she owns, you know, for the ring announcers, girls or whatever. That's education. She's supposed to be in charge of the youth of America. Okay, so none of these people, the Fox and Friends guy that's going to be the Pentagon chair, head of the Pentagon, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, none of these people are professional managers, know the business, they know where the levers of power are. None of them. So here, watch the masterstroke here. Biden is piling up all of these things that Trump has to try to catch with executive orders, which can be, of course, challenged in the courts. So why I think it's about a 6-month grace period is the following. Any temporary protective status can be eliminated by the head of the Department of Homeland Security with 60 days notice. That's going to be Kristi Noem. Assuming Cricket Puppy Killer gets through the confirmation process. I'm not sure about that. But if she does, somebody will get through the confirmation process for Donald Trump. But that may be a while. They didn't even start anybody notice that they haven't started the confirmation hearings yet? I mean, they had already started confirmation hearings. They could start them on January the 3rd. Why haven't they started? They don't have to wait for the inauguration. They usually have these people confirmed before the president even gets in. I haven't seen one confirmation hearing start. That's telling. Shows you this is the gang that can't shoot straight, right? They can't get their act together. They can't get their background checks, can't get the votes together. And so that's a good thing for democracy. The less Donald Trump can accomplish in the amount of time. We see, even for somebody who's efficient and knew what he was doing, like Joe Biden, it took every minute of almost the last day of his term to get all of his judges confirmed for Joe Biden. So you see how difficult it is. Anyway, Christine, let's just say for sake of argument, just for a thought experiment, Kristi Noem somehow gets through, I shot my dog and was not picked to be the vice president as a result in the confirmation process. Let's say that confirmation process goes, I don't know, sometime into February. She made up, at some point we need Homeland Security. I would say sometime in February. So she gets in. Even if it's the first thing that she can do, we're looking at March or April. We're looking at May. So at least he bought them from now till May, and then we go from there. It may seem like very little, but at least gives them the dignity to help arrange their lives without having to worry about deportation Gestapo knocking on their door in the middle of the night. Nobody wants that. That's not the sooner, let me just say this right here from a public policy standpoint. It's going to be a little commercial for a humane, dignified immigration policy, which we don't have, which I blame both the Democrats and the Republicans for. It's been 50 years or more since we've had a screwed up immigration policy. And that's, we've had Congress, they've had Congress, we've had one chamber, they've had one chamber, we've had the presidency, they've had the presidency. Nothing gets done because there's more let's be cynical for a minute. There's more political value in terms of having it as an unsolved issue than solving the issue. If we had a dignified immigration policy, then we would have people who we would be creating new, loyal, happy, hardworking Americans instead of people who resent the country because of the way they're being treated. Yeah? If we want people to cry at the national anthem like my wife does, then treat them with dignity on the immigration policy. There's a reason that my grandparents, who came through Ellis Island, at least two of them, my two grandfathers, why they love this country. There were no bigger patriots in America than my grandfather Benjamin and my grandfather Joseph, who came from a similar region in Russia back in the early 1900s. And when they came through, it's Ellis Island is not just, when you see in movies, like old-timey people with, interesting folkloric outfits, barely speaking English, getting processed. They're getting processed. That means they're getting naturalized. That was a giant naturalization center. People came through and they were citizens or at least legal residents on the moment they entered off the boat. It was a magical place that converted you from wherever you came from to an American citizen or on your way to being an American citizen. What do we do now? We need an Ellis Island project now to process the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, not borders. Yeah, borders are important. Put up the wall, have a drone, whatever you want to do. But we need a processing center that rivals Ellis Island so that we get all of these people inside the tent being happy Americans contributing to our economy, our value, our country. You like your fruit picked? You like your textiles created? You like your meat slaughtered? if you're not a vegetarian, then you love an undocumented immigrant. You just don't know it. You like your housing built, you like your apartments built in the construction industry, then you love an undocumented migrant. You just don't know it and you won't acknowledge it. That group of immigrants, undocumented, have paid in taxes $60 billion with a B, $billion a year. They don't want to live in the shadows. They don't want to live with one eye open and a door packed at their front door. They want to be Americans, just like my grandparents and my great-grandparents. My great-grandfather came here on a boat through Ellis Island, right, in the late 1890s, followed by my grandfather in the early 1900s, right? So I'm a member of the Lucky Sperm Club in that way, right? My grandfathers got here, and then they married American Jewish women. That's our nationality. That's our religion, and the rest is history. My father, my mother, and then me, and now my children. But dignified, humane immigration system is a reflection of who we are as a people, what we're built on, our American values, the Statue of Liberty, and the Emma Lazarus a poem at the bottom of the base of the Statue of Liberty. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That's what our country is built on. It's what our society is built on. That's supposed to be the very fabric of our being and our social contract, right? So stop trying to figure out how to chase after them like they're rats or mice, some sort of rodents, and start treating them like human beings, like they're somebody's child. They each had a mother. We have a lot in common with these people. They all had parents. Everybody there had a mother, okay? Everybody there cares about their children and their children's future and putting food on the table and education in the mind, right? And healthcare in the body. They all care about the exact same things. That's why they're fighting to get in here. You want to army crawl through chicken wire to come to a country because it's a better life for you? What do you think your life is like in the place you're leaving? And you're willing to work hard in this country? It chaps my ass to hear mainly MAGA, who live in probably lily white, not ethnically diverse towns, not New York, not Manhattan, not where I live in New Jersey, just white, worrying and miles from the border, worrying about the immigration crisis. The Haitians that are working in Springfield, Ohio, they're hardworking Haitians that are trying to make a better life for themselves, that were connected to Springfield, Ohio through the business community and the Haitian American hardworking professional class in Miami. That's how they got there to work. They were invited there. They're not overwhelming the town. They're working the factories. Wake the F up. I'm embarrassed, not to be an American, I'm embarrassed by our immigration policy by both parties. So we're going to continue to follow all the great things that Joe Biden's doing every day in every way. Hundreds of millions of acres of land preserved, wilderness preserved just in the last 3 days. 1 million people just had their life changed, at least temporarily, to challenge Donald Trump to take it away from them. And everything he's got to do over here is Trump's expending political capital that he can't use somewhere else. Trying to spread him thin. Trying to spread him thin is the goal of the Biden administration, and they're doing a great job. I'm Michael Popok. Look where you are. Look, I'm pointing. Where is it? Legal AF. Hit the blue subscribe button. Help us grow. We're going to hit 400,000 this weekend. I'm going to do a video thanking everybody for the 400,000. We're at 397 and a half right now. We're going to hit 400,000 with your help. Help us get to 400,000 by Sunday night. That's our goal. And then 500,000 before we're 6 months old. That's a testament to you, that and the 50 million video views on this network, on this channel that didn't exist before September 17th of 2024. That is on you. I appreciate each one of you. I'm Michael Popok, and I'm reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.